Yo lads, what's up? It's your favorite mums here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So this is part 2 of the video that I brought you the other day, the last one we brought you. So the first video, quickly going in a quick summary, kind of went through, the versions of FIFA and things like that. So we've got the 3 different versions of FIFA. You want to buy the better 2 versions if you want to get the 3 days early access. And in terms of dates when things come out, you've got the 30th of September is when the web app comes out. The 1st of October is when the 10 hours of EA access comes out. Then you've got the 26th, sorry, the 6th, of October is when the 3 days early access, if you get one of the better versions of the game. And then on the 9th of October is when the full game release is out. Now, obviously, some of the other things we went through is during your 10 hours of EA access, you should not be doing anything but playing games. Get yourself to rank 1 squad battles, rank 1 in rivals so you can get the rewards. That's also that. Starting nation, I like to start with England or Germany because I've got more domestic leagues. And apart from that, you should obviously, any cards you get, you should be selling. Not quick selling them, but selling them for the price they sell for, unless they're a meta card. And I'll go through in detail which cards are kind of meta. And we should be completing the advanced SBCs, all right? Quick note, though, I didn't mention this yesterday, is obviously when you're completing the SBCs, the advanced SBCs, do not use Footbin. That's what a lot of the casuals do. You need to solve it yourself. Using Footbin, you'll be using inflated cards. And obviously, you should be sniping and bidding for any cards that you need, not just buying them for their going price. You can always get them that little bit cheaper, and every coin counts. Now, quickly, guys, if you see me looking to the left, I've just written some notes of things that I want to go through with you guys. So that is why, just so I don't miss anything out. We're going to make this a 3-part series. So obviously, part 2 right now, we're going to go through more trading and trading methods. And then part 3, I'm going to talk about investments and stuff and kind of investments you can make. Now, quickly, reasoning why I'm going through trading first is you should be trading. That's what you should be doing first, right? You should be investing after you've made a bit of money. If you've got a lot of money, you can put some into investments, keep some to trade with. Or if you're putting FIFA points into the game or something like that, or you get a really good pool at the start, so you've got a lot of money, then maybe you could be investing a bit more earlier. But other than that, if you've only got 50, 60, 70, 100K, you should just be trading really until you at least get maybe a few 100K. Then you can start putting some in investments and then leaving yourself some to trade with, right? So that's why I'm going to go through trading first. Now, basically, there's different types of trading. We'll start with the starter, right? So silver trading. Now, silver trading and really just trading at the start of a FIFA can be very, very boring. I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? It can be boring, it can be repetitive, and it can be very, very long. But it's also extremely essential to get yourself off to a good start, all right? Having money early on in FIFA is the key. You can make so much money early on through investments and other things like that and flipping cards that starting here and grinding your way to getting yourself that first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700K is extremely important, okay? So that is step 1. That's just to let you guys know about that. Now, when it comes to trading early on in FIFA as well, you got to look at small profits, okay? We're not looking at our big profits. You're not looking at making 2, 3, 4,000 coins a card. That doesn't come until you've got a bigger budget, okay? Bigger budgets mean larger profit margins you can be making. At the start of FIFA, when we're working with small amounts, you're looking to make small profits, but consistently. So, 2, 3, 4, 500 coins a card. Like that is fine. Some people think, oh, I'm only going to be making 200, 300 coins on this card. That's fine because you're not buying 50,000 coin cards. You're buying 1,000 coin cards and 800 coin cards and 1,200 coin cards. You're buying small cards that cost little amounts, so you're only making little profits, right? But you're making consistent profits, so it all kind of works out in the end, right? It all kind of works out. But that's what you got to be doing at the start, and that's why it can be very, boring and repetitive because you're kind of just doing the same things. Now, in terms of silver cards, what you got to be doing is trying to find yourself a filter, a good filter. Now, what you should be looking at is good leagues, good nations, cards that are used for advanced SBCs, and we'll go through that a bit further. That's what I like to use, do a lot of. And then obviously good positions like fullbacks and wingers. So obviously you are going to find that silvers early on, silvers from Brazil, England, France, those kind of leagues, and also from those kind of nations, big leagues, Premier League, Serie A, Liga, La Liga. They're always going to you're always going to be able to flip those cards and do pretty well with those cards. So they're the kind of ones you're going to be looking for when doing silver filters. Or, like I said, you're going to be looking for advanced SBC silvers. Now, obviously in the starter SBCs and the advanced SBCs, you need to use bronzes and silvers to get those done. So it is very easy to make money off those kind of silvers, right? And knowing which ones to use, which we'll go through in a second. So that's what you're going to be doing with silvers. Now, I do a bit of silver trading at the start, more with the advanced SBCs, but I like to more focus on golds and things like that. So with golds, you're looking to mass bid and snipe, right? And I'm sorry I'm just talking to you guys here as it is, but this part's more of just an information kind of thing. I will show you some graphics and stuff in a second. And also what I'm talking about is in future episodes, I'm going to go into these methods in more detail. So I kind of want to give you guys an overview of exactly, step by step what you do. And then I'll go into, in other videos, in separate videos, I'll go into more detail. Like, this is exactly what mass bidding is, and this is exactly what you should be doing, okay? But this is more just what you should be looking for. So yeah, with gold cards, you're going to be looking to mass bid and snipe, okay? Now, what you want to do with mass bidding and snipe is, first of all, you want to find a rotation list of cards, okay? If you're looking at specific cards. Now, a lot of people think, okay, they just want to find one card. So I'm going to pick just a random card, Mendy gold card. And I'm going to sit there and snipe and mass bid on that card. Okay, that's an all right idea. But the thing is, cards fluctuate so much early in the game that, he might be a good card to snipe where you're winning a lot of them, or mass bid on and you're winning a lot of them and you're selling them for good profit. And it might work for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But then all of a sudden, the price fluctuates. That's now a dead card, or there's too much competition for it. Now what do? Now you got to go search for another card. So you try and find yourself a list of 15, 20 cards. Now, how you find this list, it's pretty easy. You just kind of want to look for like meta cards, right? So meta cards, cards that are from good nations, good leagues, kind of thing. And basically the kind of cards you're looking for are cards that have a highish demand. So higher demand, higher supply, but also a low competition. So maybe some cards that people aren't really thinking about, okay? Cards that maybe people aren't often thinking about, but they have a high supply. So, maybe some like non-rare cards. At the start of the game, a lot of people are packing a lot of non-rare cards. So, non-rares can be quite, have quite a larger supply, I guess. Also, sometimes the competition for non-rares are a lot less as well, because people tend to just, a lot of casuals just tend to think, rares. They just like to go for rares a lot more. So you normally find there's less competition on non-rares. Because a lot of people at the start, there's no promo packs. A lot of people are opening 5k packs, 7.5k packs. They're obviously packing a lot of non-rares in those. The supply is sometimes higher on those cards as well. So that's normally sometimes a good place to look. All right. So yeah, you can either do that, or you can look for a wider filter where you're looking more for, Premier League gold, and that's it. And you're just sitting there sniping all the Premier League gold cards that come up for 350, or mass bidding 350 on every gold card. And then at worst, you're going to be able to sell that card for probably $450. Make yourself 50 coins to 100 coins profit. Some cards you're going to be able to sell for a few hundred, 200, 300, 400 coins profit. So you can just do that and go wide. But obviously the competition for that's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more people doing that, than if you're looking for specific cards. Or you can do a filter, like left back, French Premier League, or left back, or just simply left back, La Liga. And you can look at filters like that as well. So they're the kind of things you can look at. But yeah, find yourself a rotation list of cards. I only use Footbin to do this, and we can go through this in more detail about exactly how to find a good, rotation list of cards. But you should be finding a rotation list of cards and sitting there and sniping and mass bidding. So everyone knows what sniping is. Mass bidding, if you don't know what it is basically, say the card sells for 700 coins, putting your filter to say 500 coins, 400, 450, and bidding on every single one of those cards, 450 coins. You're You're not going to win them all, but say you win a large chunk, then you sell them all for 700. All right. So that's what you're going to be doing on that. Now, like I said, it's small profits, but at the start of the game, money is money. And as you get more money, you can then make, larger profit margins. Now, the other way of trading is you're going to be trading through advanced SBCs, okay? Advanced SBCs are a very good way to make money. Now, this is what I like to do quite a lot early on. Now, there's 3 sets of advanced SBCs at the start, and they have some of them have certain requirements. Now, 2 of the requirements I think are for the advanced SBCs. You need 11 players from the same nation but different leagues, and then you also need 11 players from the same league but different nations. So this leaves a very specific group of players that are used, right? There might be, not a large amount of players that can be used to get this completed, and then these players are kind of rotated around. So obviously sitting there and sniping on these cards, bidding on these cards can be very effective. But what I like to do is I like to read the fluctuations. Now, when it comes to advanced SBCs, fluctuations happen a lot on these cards based on footbin. Footbin solutions are the key, all right? A lot of casuals, even non-casuals, they want to get these SBCs done quickly. They go to footbin solutions. They look at what the cheapest one on footbin says, and they go and complete that one. All right? Brainless and easy. That's what they do. But what they don't realize is that footbin doesn't update on a second-by-second basis. So some cards, they go on footbin, they look, okay, this one's the cheapest. They click on it, they start buying the cards. But what they don't realize is that card's not the cheapest anymore. On footbin, it's saying that card's only 800. This one's the cheapest because these cards are all 1,000 coins each. But what they don't realize is that's because it last updated an hour ago. And now, really, that card's actually gone from 1,000 to 2,000 coins each card. Or certain cards have gone to 2,000-3,000 in that. All right? But they're already halfway. They've already bought half the cards. So they're like, screw it, I'm just going to buy it anyways. All right? So that's what happens. And then when footbin updates, that one then suddenly goes from the cheapest, it suddenly goes to one of the most expensive, a different one comes to the cheapest. All right? Everyone starts buying the cheapest, the other cheapest one. The one that used to be the cheapest starts getting cheaper and cheaper because no one's buying the cards. This one starts getting more expensive, and then it updates, and all of a sudden, this one's gone from here, up here, and they've swapped around basically, right? And that regularly happens. So if you can read the fluctuations, right, investing in these cards when, they're cheap. So have a look at the cards that are regularly being used in the advanced SPCs. Look through the footbin solutions. Have a look what kind of cards are regularly being used. Write them down, okay? Write them down. And every time those cards get cheap, buy them up. Easy as that, all right? You watch them. You write the cards down that are regularly being used. You check them regularly. And the minute you see them down, buy them. Because they're probably down at the moment because they're not in the cheapest solution. But, they're going to get back into there. They will get back into the cheapest solution. Could take an hour or so, could take 2 hours, but they will get back in there, and then they're going to go back up in price, all right? So they're going to regularly fluctuate. So I actually like to do that a lot. And the other way you can do that is create your own solution. So if you can sit there on footbin and create the cheapest solution for one of these advanced SBCs and buy the cards in advance, that can also be a really good, all right? So maybe you create a solution, and this solution needs a certain player. So it needs a left back, all right? A certain left back. And you can't use any other player. You have to use that left back, all right? You go and buy a bunch of that left back. You create the solution, put it up as and it's the cheapest solution. Everyone goes and does it. See a rise in that card. You flip them all. You sell them all off, all right? So like I said, I'll go into more detail with these, but that is also another easy thing that I always do at the start. Now, after that, obviously, you're looking at... They're all the cheaper flipping, and there's a few other methods I'll go into at a later date. And then after you got a bit of money, you can look at higher end flipping. Once again, this is just simply like with the low gold cards, you're getting a rotation list of higher price cards, 20, 30, 40, 50K cards. And yeah, exactly what I said before. Good supply, high demand, low competition is what you're looking for. And you're flipping them. The margins are going to be bigger though on higher price. So instead of you looking for 2, 3, 400 coin profits, you're now looking for 2, 3, 4, 5,000 coin profits. An example of this from last FIFA with me early on was goalkeepers. Specifically for me, Allison. Okay? I did this a lot. So Allison was well, obviously people are going to disagree here in some sense, but he was basically the best goalkeeper in the Prem. Okay? He was the highest rated goalkeeper in the Prem. Actually, no, I think De Gea was, but he was the most touted goalkeeper in the Prem, right? And he was used a lot. So he had demand. Now, he also had a lot of supply because even though he was high rated, in terms of other high rated cards, goalkeepers get packed a lot. It's just how it is, all right? You're going to get a lot of high rated goalkeepers being packed more than you are going to get high rated strikers and stuff. It's just how it works. Goalkeepers always get packed a lot, okay? So there was a good amount of demand, I found. There was a good amount of supply. But then also because there were goalkeepers, people don't regularly look at goalkeepers. They just don't think to trade with goalkeepers, right? It's not something that people regularly trade with. There was also not much competition. And I think in one night, I did this for one night. I can't remember exactly. But, we made a few 100K in just one night early on in FIFA flipping these cards. I was buying them. I can't remember. Look, I'm probably getting these numbers wrong. But I was making about 5K a card, after profit, making about 4 or 5K a card, and I was just regularly getting them. I wasn't winning one every second, obviously, but every minute or two, I would be winning one, either on bid or on snipe. I was doing both, and then I'd be making 3 to 5K profit on them, and I was just doing that regularly. Made myself a few hundred, like 3, 4, 500K, in the space of a good trading period that we were doing that day. So yeah, that's kind of what you're going to be looking at when it comes to trading. And like I said, I'll bring out videos that go into more detail. Quickly, though, before we end this video, I want to talk to you guys last thing about, I talked about meta cards. So obviously I said at the start of the game, you're going to be selling meta cards, all right? Now, I want to give you guys an example. Because people always ask me, well, what meta cards do I keep? What ones do I sell? So you're basically selling anything that's just, under 1,000 coins. Any card that is under 1,000 coins, just get rid of. Sell at the start of the game, okay? Because you need money to start trading. Meta cards are things like, long lay is a good example. Now, we're going to go into more about this in investing, but these are also good cards to invest in. This is one card that I pinpointed at the start of last FIFA, and I told everyone in my community to jump on this card and start investing on this card. And he went up a lot. Now, the reason why this card rises so much, so meta, in terms of a centre back, you've got 75 pace. So 75 or plus pace on a centre back is always going to do really well. He's La Liga. He's French. So good league, good nation, good pace. Always going to do well. You know what I mean? So you can look at cards like that. Cards from good league. So Premier League, good nation. So French, England, Brazil. Like I said, good league, Premier League cards, they're always going to do really well. And then just meta. So meta stats, man. Pace matters. Attackers with really good pace. And like a good weak foot and skill moves. Defenders with good pace are always going to do well every FIFA, no matter what. Just pace. Everyone loves pace at the start of a FIFA, right? So as you can see, this card on day one was 23K. And that's actually a lie because when I jumped on, this gives you an average of the day. When I jumped on when it was with my community, you could have bought this card on PlayStation. So this is PC and PlayStation. Get rid of PC. On PlayStation, you could have bought this card for 15,000 coins. Now, 1 week later, when the full release of the game came out, right here, this card was sitting at 65K. And then if you waited going into Weekend League, look, going into like the first Weekend League, you're looking at 110K. So within day one here, within what, 3 weeks, this card had gone from 15K to 110K within 2 to 3 weeks. Needs a moment. So that's why you want to keep better cards. If you need the money, you can sell. Obviously, if you really need the money to trade. But if you can afford, to sell off all the cards under 1,000 coins, maybe even sell a couple cards that are like 2,000-3,000 coins, but keep the big cards like these ones, your Allens. Like this year, for instance, cards like St. Max, Rashford, Binho, all those really meta cards, they will continue to rise as the game goes on, all right? So they're the cards, when I talk about keeping meta cards and selling everything else, they're the kind of meta cards I'm talking about keeping, Okay. Yeah, that's basically it for me, guys, for this one. I hope you helped out, guys. I just want to quickly shout this out. I normally wouldn't do this, but obviously I'm a live streamer as well. I don't run a Patreon or anything. I don't want to run anything like that. But obviously, just to help out my subs, one of my sub perks is I do post, trading guides and all this kind of information written out and stuff like that in the sub Discord. I also post, regular investment tips to help out investments you guys can jump on to help out my viewers and stuff like that are sub to the channel. So obviously, if you want, and I also talk about this a lot on the stream, man. So if you do want to come into the stream and ask any questions on trading, investing, happy to help out, man. I'll be doing all this stuff live on my stream as well. Yeah, if this video helped you guys out, man, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I really, really do. I hope it helps you. Like I said, I will go into more detail in future videos. This was more just of giving you guys an overview so you kind of understand the steps that we're going to be taking come FIFA 21, all right? I'll give you more detailed things, and we'll be doing this anyways as it happens. But yeah, I just want to get you guys ready, prepared, and kind of understanding what you need to be ready for and what's going to be happening. Yeah, anyways, love you all, man. Appreciate you guys watching to the end of this video. Peace out.